hate the military. They hate America, and to them, the military is just an extension of America on steroids. That they loathe the military because the military, by and large, has been one of the forces that has helped America remain free and get where where it is today. So they hate the military, period. But those of us who think in terms of reality, far more concerned, and I think Chris Kyle was as well, with how many American lives did he save by the bad guys that he took out?
Well, absolutely, or the operations that he made possible. I got to say, as far as the movie goes, you haven't seen it, right, Mike?
No, and I was going to see it this weekend, but yeah, me too.
Well, I think it would have been hard to see it had you not pre-purchased your ticket, by the way. I'm
Well,
going to see it.
too.
Right. I'm going to see it this coming weekend. I'm going to take my junior hire to see it. But interesting, Danny and I took the girls to see Annie this weekend, the musical Annie, which we can talk about what I hated and what I loved about that. But in the middle of it, I had to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. And I'm at this Cineplex in Irvine that has like 21 theaters. It's absolutely massive theater complex, right? So as I come out, I notice that the two theaters right outside the restroom are both showing American Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
And like most megaplexes, they've got some theaters in there that the screen is like 10 foot by 10 foot and there's 20 seats.
Yep.
And then they've got two that are just massive, hundreds of seats in these things. So I went in and I watched oh gosh, I probably stood there and watched maybe 5 minutes of it. And it's the scene where he's up on a roof looking through a scope. His wife is talking to him. She's at home having just made in the process of making a cradle.
Now, how is she talking to him while this is happening?
Cell phone.
Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
he's got satellite phone going on. All right.
Yeah, he's got a satellite phone. He's got a
Wow.
walkie-talkie, getting told what to look at. He's looking through a scope at combatants of some kind. She's at home, kind of crying, and he's obviously not telling her what he's doing, but she's talking about. Hey, you know what? You're off doing whatever you're doing, and I'm sat home doing the man's job, making the cradle for our baby, and she's pregnant. And it was really moving. And she starts joking about talking dirty, having, phone sex with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it flashes back to him, and he's up on this rooftop, and he's like, look, I got a gun in one hand and a walkie-talkie in the other. I don't have an extra hand, so we can't really do that. It was just... Dude, it was so moving, right?
Yeah.
So, and I noticed that the theater that I was in was every single seat was taken. So I thought, oh, this will be interesting to see. So I cruise across the hall, go into the other one. It's just as big of a theater. It also, every single seat in the thing. This is a Sunday afternoon, man. Right in the middle of all these football games, even. Both theaters completely, not one seat empty.
Right. And you just know and love the fact that the Michael Moores and the Seth Rogans and the Rob Reiners and you go on and on and on, the Sean Penns, they hate it that this thing is doing so well. I don't know which they probably hate worse, the movie or the fact that it's breaking all kinds of records. It's driving them crazy.
It's got to. And that itself raises a very interesting point because, the idea that you've got two competing things. On one hand, you've got Hollywood is very left and a progressive agenda, and Seth Rogen is being cheered, and Michael Moore being like, yeah, whatever about what he has to say. On the other hand, the records that this thing is setting, I mean, there's a ton of people that are making a ton of dough. And, movies that have a war theme but a very leftist perspective do not do well at all. These kinds of things, I mean, that this thing is just going to be such an amazing home run by the time it, goes out of
There's no
theater.
question. And of course, the family would have probably never acquiesced if that were required in the first place. Well, I guess if they bought the book rights, they bought the book rights. I don't know the behind the scenes stuff there.
Right.
But if someone other than Clint Eastwood, I mean, you could name a director, producer better than I could, someone from the left would have made a movie about him and could have gotten away with it. It would have been an anti-war movie. It would have painted him excuse me, not as a cold-blooded killer, as some on the left have said, but certainly in a questionable position. There's even I've seen this little clip in the movie, and I don't know the context from a trailer. And the guy, I don't know if it's a psychiatrist or who it is. He appears to be back stateside, is asking him, "Did you ever see or do anything?" And I forget how it ends, that you wish you wouldn't have done, or that you regretted. And then he responds something to the effect of, "No, I'm happy to meet my maker and explain every shot I took." So I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, what immediately comes to mind to me is Steven Spielberg's movies, Munich and Saving Private Ryan. In Munich kind of shows the Israeli commandos that are going after. Did you ever see that movie?
I did not. I saw Saving Private Ryan, but not that one.
Okay, well, you got to see Munich because it's the story of at the Olympics when the Palestinians killed the Israeli athletes, right?
Right.
And it's the famous story of them going down and killing the Israelis,
Yeah.
going and killing all the guys that were involved in it. But the tact that Spielberg takes is very much of a moral equivalence one. The Palestinians are all shown as like happy, loving family people,
Of course.
and the Israelis are shown as one-dimensional, bloodthirsty killers, which is really irritating.
Hmm.
But then also thinking of Save It Private Ryan is there's that comment that Tom Hanks is like, well, maybe the one good thing about all of us being over here is that we can all get Ryan back to his family. And it's like, well, wait a second. There were some, excuse me, there were some important things that were done in terms of landing in Normandy and what we did fighting the Nazis that were important above and beyond merely sacrificing getting, Ryan back to his family.
And isn't that ironic? You and I are both having these types of issues today, but we'll be good. But and it's ironic, Spielberg being a Jew. Of course, he's an American Jew, and we know by and large. Well, let's don't go there. But ironically, killing the Nazis, stopping the concentration camps, the extermination of Jews. Spielberg's one of those classic guys. If the Nazis had their way, not only the old proverbial joke, we'd all be speaking German right now, but guys like Spielberg would probably not even be around to do what they do. So I've always found that ironic.
Yeah, and that Saving Private Ryan, I found it to be. I mean, I've seen that movie a zillion times. It's a great movie.
Oh, it's an excellent movie.
But it's only over time that I realize, that comment about, well, maybe that's the one good thing about the sacrifice that we all made. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. No,
and it's
Mr.
been
Hanks.
a long time, man, since I saw it. And I probably now, because I am sensitive to that stuff, and in the later years, I would get that, but I did not at the time. But it was an awesome movie. I mean, in terms of that was the first realistic. When they hit the beach and even the sound effects and stuff. That was pretty damn good. But so anyway, that's it is what it is. So.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see American Sniper. And I
cannot.
did that a couple of weeks ago. I did that story where Cooper and Eastwood go to Texas to meet Chris Kyle's dad, and he basically said, "I will kill you if you don't treat my son's memory well." And Cooper had actually met Chris Kyle because they had the rights and were in the process of getting the movie at the very beginning stages before Kyle died.
Right. Hannity had him on. Hannity had a special. Excuse me. He had the dad on. He did not have Cooper on, but he played a clip of oh gosh, I don't. It doesn't make any difference. Some Hollywood type from Fox interviewing Cooper, and he said I met him. I think he like met him one time.
Yeah, one
'cause
time before he died.
And he said, but I feel like I know him. His wife gave them like I forget how many emails, personal emails between the two of them and stuff. And the whole story is incredible. Hannity had the dad on. He had the daughter. I'm sorry, Taya or Tay, the widow. This is an incredible story, and it's just a shame, although predictable, because this is 2015. We're in Obama's America. That the left goes where it goes. I mean, we're not surprised, but kudos to Eastwood, and I don't know Bradley Cooper's politics, but to him as well. So
Yeah, I have no idea, but I would imagine that you and I could probably guess what his politics are, don't you think?
You know what? Maybe. There have been a few who have come out, so to speak, and surprised me. Matthew McConaughey might be one of them. That I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? To a left-handed compliment, then, if he is one of them, kudos to him for that, for doing it. Because certainly you wouldn't have seen of course, he's too morbidly obese and ugly anyway, but you'd have never seen a Michael Moore or a Seth Rogen, do something like that because it would have been against their moral character. So anyway, we got to see it. Yeah.
Well, I do know this, that Cooper has come out and said, "Hey, this is not about politics. The movie intentionally is not,
and it should not be.
And it should not be because I mean, I have no idea what Chris Kyle's politics were. I don't really even care what Chris Kyle's politics.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
You know
who's a stud, by the way? On that Hannity show, they had Marcus Luttrell, and there was a couple of other guys on there. Those are badasses. You know what?
Bad. By the way, as we're sitting here, I've just been Googling Cooper. Do you remember when Barack Obama was on Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis?
Right.
It was Bradley Cooper that set that up. And in 2009, when Cooper hosted SNL, he was wearing an Obama t-shirt.
Okay, so never mind. Yeah. Well, again, left-handed, because I'm left-handed. Kudos to him for doing this.
Well, because he's realizes that this is something the American public would be intentionally interested in.
And, who knows? Maybe it was the money or whatever, but he's correct in that it's not about politics, which says more about him than about the ready to explode Michael Moore and the Seth Rogens of the world, because he can look beyond hate. Obviously, he's a liberal, at least a Democrat, Cooper, but he apparently does not loathe the military as much as, again, the likes of Michael Moore and Seth Rogen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the guy's, I don't know, he's going to make dozens of millions, perhaps.
Well, you got to figure at his level, he's got to be, to a point where he gets a piece of the pie. And he's got enough money where he can afford to do that, bet on the come, so to speak. So if he's in that realm, he's going to make tens of millions of bucks on this thing.
Right. I mean, he probably got 20 just for doing it.
Sure. Yeah, he's definitely got to have a base. But instead of going for give me 50 and we're good. I would think somebody like him at this point would say, give me a few points on the gate.
Right. Exactly. Good for him.
Yeah. Well, we've both got to see it, and then we'll talk about that for 2 hours. In fact, we may have to do an extra deal. All right, so we're damn near out of a half hour. That was good. When we come back, I think we need to. Of course, we got Evan on at 3.
Right.
We definitely need to hit this tax thing. You sent me a link on it. I know a fair amount about some of this stuff as well. So I think we can have a great conversation on that. And who knows what else? We got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about, don't we?
We have a ton of cool stuff to talk about.
You want to take us out? How's your voice?
Yeah, please do. Folks, thanks for listening. This is the Right Mics with Miller and Hausum. Twitter, at The Right Mics. The website is therightmics.us. Also, in the next half hour, if you'd like to call in, the number's 412-567-6879. If you've seen this movie, call in. In fact, if you saw this movie this weekend, we want you talking to us regardless. Talk to you in a minute. Right, we'll be right back after the news.